Lastly, we had a war or a big thing going on in Israel, Gaza right now. Mm-hmm. I want people to understand that Israel is very, very different than any other country in the world. Israel is basically named after three gods. Is Ra. I'm sure everyone heard the god, Ra. Mm-hmm. And then El, as in Elohim. When you look at Ra, you can see his influence on astrology. Didn't I say the rat is favored by the matrix? Mm-hmm. The rat is connected to Ra. Matrix. So the god of Ra, who's honestly only a god in this realm, because numerology and astrology don't work in the dream world, or it doesn't work in the fourth dimension. That's why here in this dimension, the enemy of the rat, the horse, is basically abused in the English language. Think about this. Ho, horse. Whore, horse. See how it's almost similar? Even the English language, which is based off numerology, is against the horse, the enemy of the rat. That's why it calls them the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Because the four is going to go through to attack the three. And by the way, in numerology, first time reveal, 3 and 4 are enemy numbers. 4 is the number of law and order. Does it make sense that a 3, a criminal, would have issues with a 4, which is the police and law and order? This is how numerology breaks down in everyday life. You guys just never thought how to apply it. You want to see even more?
Yeah.
Blue. If you add it up in numerology, B equals 2, L equals 3. Blue adds up to 4.
How does L equal 3?
L equals 3 because it's the 12th letter. 1 and 2 is 3.
Got it.
So again, blue would equal 4. Red, 18th letter. R is the 18th letter. E is the 5th. D is the 4th. So that adds up to 27. 2 and 7 is 9. So when you have red and blue together, 4 and 9 is 13. 1 and 3 is 4. So even the blue and red lights that police function under all over the world, I might add, that light frequency is a 4. Do you understand how deep this stuff goes now?
Wow. Yeah.
People just never dissected it. This is some of the stuff I've been teaching my students within GG33, and now the public knows. So what I want the public to actually do is to start evolving all of this. I dropped enough seeds. I dropped enough seeds, and now you understand how people in positions of power actually use this. Lastly, I am not an atheist. I believe there is a prime creator. But I believe the prime creator threw us in this criminal realm to see who passes the test. Can you still be righteous if you're a rich man? But you can be a billionaire if you start doing things that are immoral. Can you be an attractive woman and not go on OnlyFans and take the $200,000 a month that you can make? Would you rather be a good mother? Stay at home, raise the kids. This is the decision the prime creator puts on all of us. We all have something. You're an influential guy. You could be pushing degeneracy. And you know if you be pushing degeneracy, you get a lot more views. I don't see you doing it. Why?
I know I'll harm people.
There you go. You don't think you're going to be judged by that? But most people in your position would not care. Yeah, give me the money.
Yeah, the streamers.
This is what you have to understand. This is what the prime creator put us in this criminal element for. If you're a great athlete, are you going to go around and whore around and cheat on your wife? By the way, if you cheat on your wife as a man, again, I'm not talking about girlfriend, boyfriend cheating. Who cares about that? But if you're married and you have kids with a woman and then you cheat on that woman, That's going to affect the health of the kids.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Why do you? Because see, when the mom and dad create a frequency that a child comes from, once they let someone else come into that frequency sexually, it affects the child.
Wow.
So again, if you are sick and people don't know why you caught this disease, maybe your mom and your daddy were a whore and they were cheating around on you. Oh, does that hurt people's feelings? That I said something like that? Because more people are going to be mad at me for my mannerisms than be mad at the people who are causing disease and suffering in this world. Stop being so sensitive and go after the people who need to be going after.
That is nuts. Now, we talked about Fuentes on the last episode, and since then, he made a video about you. Would you be willing to debate him on numerology?
He would not debate me. The funny part is he was talking about Zerka and me in that same video.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is like, oh, Zerka does numerology. I don't like it, but he's cool. But Gary does numerology. He's a Satanist. Really? Isn't there something in the Christian faith, in the Bible called the Book of Numbers? I could be wrong, but it really says that in the Bible. There is something called the Book of Numbers. If the Book of Numbers is real, why are you attacking me? And here's the difference between Christians and Muslims. In Christians, you better start. I consider Christianity the biggest cult in the world.
Wow.
About 2.3 billion people. Islam's right behind with about 2.1. Here's the difference between Muslims and Christians. I have never seen a Muslim tell me I'm the one who's chosen by God. Muslim has never spoken those words to me. I've spoke to too many Christians who told me I was chosen by God and I talk to angels.
I've heard that too.
A lot of Christians tell me they were chosen by God. I had a guy tell me not the other day that he's John the Baptist reincarnated.
Wow.
And he didn't even believe in Christianity until 3 months ago. So a man who started believing Christianity 3 months ago now believes he's a savior. Dear Christians, I know a lot of you are good people. You need to renounce anyone who says they're a prophet, because this is a mental illness that people are using as a crutch for all their failures. Most of these people I've noticed don't have a strong bond with their family. There's one guy who texts his dad once a month and says he has a strong relationship with his father.
Jeez.
If you're watching this, I want you guys to know something. If someone doesn't have a strong relationship with their parents, it's a red flag.
Really?
Because if you show no love to your parents, you'll show no loyalty to others.
What if the parents traumatized you, though?
There are exceptions, but in most cases, it is what it is. Not saying, I mean, obviously, there's people who are foster kids and they never had their biological parents.
Right.
But what I'm basically trying to tell you is if all the chips, lay where they were and someone has a mom and dad and they have a very weak relationship with their mom and dad, it's usually a sign that someone can't be trusted. So again, you got to do some research, but that's what I've seen in my life. We have a society of beta males who are paying for OnlyFans. You know what's interesting? A lot of people say, yo, it's the guy's fault. Not too sure about that. A lot of those guys were raised by single mothers. They didn't have any men in their lives. So this is what they've devolved to. And again, it all goes back to numerology and astrology. One is the man. Alpha starts with A. Male, first vowel A. Capitalist, first vowel A. But when you look at woman, first vowel O. Communist, first vowel O. Socialist, first vowel O. You notice how women always lean to socialism and communism? Again, the English language is coded with numerology. It is telling you. Women, O. Always back homosexuals. O.
It's in plain sight.
This is why the 19th Amendment needs to be repealed. Because women as a whole, and don't come at me conservative women who are voting Trump, I don't want to hear it. You're outnumbered 2-1. Facts. Maybe 3-1. So I understand good Republican conservative women exist. We'll get into that in a second. But you're outnumbered 2-1, and the English language shows you. It's plain as day. Man, capitalist, AA, woman, oh, communist, oh, woman push for homosexual rights, oh. Clear as day. Because the English language is based off numerology. The first language they tried to base off numerology was Greek. The second language, and it was a vast improvement, was Hebrew. Now it's English. Their perfected product. That's why it's called spelling. You're casting a spell. There's nothing unusual. Why do you think the U.S. moved their embassy to Jerusalem?
Why?
Jerusalem has the word U-S-A within it. Words matter. The English language, I think I proved the English language matters at this point.
Yeah.
So if we know all this stuff is real, let's go back to the Bible. You can't spell the word Bible without the word lie. Why is that? Or alien. Take the A and the N off. You have the word lie in there. Why is that? Do I believe illegal aliens exist? Yeah. There's a lot of those. There's evidence those exist. But do I believe reptilians are controlling the planet through their mind control zombies called Greys and the Pleiadians are fighting against them? No. I believe the Rothschilds just made up a story that you fools bought hook, line, and sinker.
What about dinosaurs?
I mean, they get those bones from somewhere, don't they?
Yeah, Candace Owens doesn't believe in those, but wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode.